Hey, so, first of all, excuse the wet hair. I just got back from the gym, and you know how that goes. Um, Also the noise in the background. I have no control over that. Um, so for starters, my name is India Lawrence. I go by Indy for short. By now, you have probably done the ADHD simulation. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Kind of a long name, right? So, this is how the story goes. This is my personal narrative. When I was 7 years old, I displayed really hyperactivity. Like, I couldn't stop talking obsessively, I couldn't sit still, I was easily distracted. I wanted to do everything that was not what I was supposed to do. It sounds like a typical kid. I had constant energy, I couldn't, without even eating sugar or anything. I had a hard time like understanding and following directions. These are classic symptoms of ADHD. So in second grade, I was placed into special education, and I was given an IEP, which is Individual Educational Plan. I will be in special education for 5 years, from second grade through seventh grade. So seventh grade was kind of awesome because I was taken out of special education, and this is how it goes. So we took like the MEP test, and the test scores got back that I was at grade level, which was super duper awesome because in years prior I was not. Then when they did my IEP, they were finding that I was needing next to no services. Like, I was competing at grade level. My grades were like super duper high. I was like gonna be in honors, but I couldn't be in honors because I was in special education. So with those coming back, my mom petitioned the school board to have me taken out of special education. So let me make a note that you can always have a student taken out of special education. When the IEPs are done, all parent-teacher meetings take place, you can always have a kid taken out of special education. But depending on their disorder and how it goes, would you really want to take them out? But in this case, my mom petitioned the school board. And at this time, the school board really was kind of not wanting students to be taken out of special education. Because unfortunately, I hate to say this, but special education, the school receives nearly double the amount of money for a special education student than they do for a regular student. So they didn't, it's not they didn't want me to succeed or anything, but they would be losing money if I did. But so in order to be taken out of special education, you'll have like a meeting like you did with the IEP. So my mom was at the meeting, I was at the meeting, my special education teachers were at the meeting, all my core teachers were talking math, science, English and writing. English and reading and writing were broken up. And of course the school board. So the school board said, they're like, go for it. The kid's competing well, sure, let's go for it. Take her out. Which I was like really happy about. I'm like, yes! Ha ha ha! Yes! Cool. My core teachers are like, absolutely, she competes well, she does just fine. So they're like, yeah, she can go ahead. But one of like my 3 special education teachers said like no. And she was like, I don't think she's gonna compete well past like middle school. And my mom backfires like a beast, man. She's like, well, can't she always be put back in? They're like, yes, and like, don't you have your don't you have her IEP records? And the lady's like, yes. Then I'm like, then what's the problem? And I was just sitting there. My mom's like so savage, right? Like, that's like my mom, man. She's like, well, why are you gonna hold back my kid, man? So yeah, I'm like, my mom was kind of being like really super savage there. And so my mom said, sure, I want her to take it out. And the whole like area came to agreement that it would be taken out. So then we come back. It's like 2 weeks after the meeting. This is all in like mid-November. And my English teacher comes back to me and she gives me this like brown envelope. And this brown envelope had like one sheet of paper in it. It was like, yeah, it was literally one sheet of paper. And I remember the top line of that sheet of paper because I was supposed to take it home to my mom and I wasn't supposed to look at it. But I'm like super curious. So as soon as she turns it back, of course I'm gonna open up the envelope. Like, what else would I do? So I open up this envelope and it says, I blank, the parent of India M. Lawrence, has agreed to have India M. Lawrence taken out of special education service. And I remember like the last, I think, second lines. And like it says something along the lines, understand that if India M. Lawrence wants like services again, then she'll have to go through the IEP and the whole process will have to be done again. So I take it home to my mom, and my mom, she says, oh, I see you've gotten into the envelope, haven't you? I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, Mom. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, okay? The seal's been broken. I mean, and so my mom signs it, and then she says, India, come here. There's like a line for you to sign too. And I'm like, I have to sign it? She's like, yep. And so I remember like signing it. And I kind of like, I felt like I was like signing my own little freedom, man. Like, so when you're in special education, there becomes like a stigma around those with like disabilities. Especially in elementary school, because you're placed into like separate classrooms from like other students. And it becomes kind of like, in a way, kind of mean, and people like bully you for like, haha, you have to go in like the other room. So when I was like signing it, I was kind of feeling like I was signing my own little freedom. Like, I finally like worked hard enough to where